Well, hello friends. It's my last video of 2019 and my last video of the decade. Can you believe it's already been another decade? For myself, the 2010s were a quick blip. I graduated college, moved to Korea, lived there for 3.5 years, got my master's there, moved back, and started my career back here in Texas. And I've been trucking along here on YouTube all during that time as a side hobby of mine. I feel like I'm one of the few K-pop YouTubers who has actually been in this K-pop thing this entire decade to determine what really were the K-pop songs of the decade. I like to think that I'm pretty qualified for this, and I approach this as unbiased as possible. Because if I had it my way, I'd totally say Boa's Hurricane Venus was the song of the decade because it slapped so hard that I had to file assault charges, thank you very much. But yeah, with that in mind, I knew it didn't exactly truly qualify for this list, so I made my own list of songs from over the years. This list is long, and so what I plan to do is run through all of this chronologically, touch on the songs that really deserve to be recognized for their impact and lasting power, as well as briefly mention songs from each year that I thought about for this, but won't exactly go over in depth, as they will more or less serve as honorable mentions. That way, I don't get attacked because I forgot someone and that you're threatening to sue me or some shit, because I know how often you all love doing that. Do know that I kept this entire list to one song per artist, and I cannot stress that enough. One song per artist. I want to pick the most representative song of the decade for each artist because let's be real, I feel some fans would put 10 songs of their bias and say how great they were and call it a day. No, not doing that here today, thank you very much. And so without further ado, let's get started with the K-pop songs as I see as the songs of the 2010s decade. Starting off with 2010. Miss A's Bad Girl, Good Girl, a record-breaking debut in its time. Miss A's debut in K-pop sort of rounded out the end of debuts from the Gen 2 artists. A song covered by many and one with many awards, this song continues to be looked back on as one of the best debuts in K-pop. Another huge song from 2010 is 2AM's Can't Let You Go Even If I Die. While it may not have had the impact internationally like many other songs on this list, 2AM's Can't Let You Go Even If I Die was 2010's Song of the Year, and one that holds a special place for many in Korea. Even years after its release, I witnessed 2AM sing this song in Korea, and the entire Olympic Stadium sang this song in unison. It didn't matter what fandom you represented or what glow stick you had. This song is almost considered an anthem in Korea, one that will continue to stand the test of time as a great ballad from K-pop. To truly understand this song's popularity and impact, you have to look back and see that this was one of those rare songs that managed to chart high in both 2010 and 2011. IU's Good Day was so massive that it even started a trend of other K-pop singers trying to replicate her famous triple high note from the song in their own songs that year. One that came out at the tail end of 2010 but started off the decade on a major high for the genre, as well as the singer, to solidify her status in the industry. While I did not talk about them, other songs that I consider from 2010 would happen to be SHINee's Lucifer and CN Blue's I Am a Loner. Moving on to 2011, it was a big year, definitely. One of the most memorable songs from 2011, Hyunna's Bubble Pop also had its own viral resurgences in the following years, such as after her appearance in Psy's Gangnam Style, as well as a full parody on Family Guy. Arguably Hyuna's most popular song, it is also one of the first K-pop songs to start the dubstep trend that followed in 2012. One of the highest charting songs from 2011, Sistar 19's My Boy was quite big, sparking numerous sequels to the song and even having an influence to start a trend of subunits from groups thanks to them, GD and TOP, and Orange Caramel in the following years. The dance practice video for the song was one of the earliest examples of viral dance practices and arguably helped make it more of a norm for companies to upload dance practices to their YouTube channels. The song that best represents 2NE1 and easily one of the songs of the K-pop decade. I Am the Best has continued to be one of the biggest long-term, impactful songs in K-pop. Even being the song of choice for the famous Microsoft Surface commercial, it's a song that will forever be played in the years to come. To say this song was everywhere when I was living in Korea is an understatement. 2011 Song of the Year, Tiara's Roly Poly even set the record for the most downloaded song of all time in Korea at the time. A song that was loved by all ages in Korea, including being my students' favorite song ever. I fondly remember this song being one of the biggest songs that year, putting Tiara on top. Other songs from 2011 that I thought about for this video that I ended up not discussing was Beast's Fiction. One I almost discussed here as I see this as a timeless classic but best represents Beast and Highlight and K-pop from that era. Others include Kara's Step, Super Junior's Mr. Simple, FX's Hot Summer because that song just continues to appear every summer, Girls' Day's Twinkle Twinkle, Troublemaker's Troublemaker, and Avicii's Don't Say Goodbye. 2012 was a really big year for K-pop. My personal favorite year and the impact this year had on the genre is unmatched.
Wow, fantastic, baby. Fantastic, baby.
This would be the representative song of Big Bang and the representative male group song in K-pop. It broke many records and set new ones even years after its release. The popularity of the song was extraordinary and one that is still played and performed year after year and one of the faces or leaders of K-pop in the spread of the Hallyu wave post-2012. While far from being one of the most popular songs of the decade, Infinite's The Chaser is arguably their greatest work and a timeless classic. Possibly the best representation of Sweettune's 80s synth-pop compositions, this song was chosen as the best K-pop song of 2012 by Billboard staff, despite a crowded landscape of hits that year. It's not the first K-pop song to incorporate traditional Korean elements, nor the last, but has still managed to be one of the most unique sounding K-pop songs to come out of this genre to date. This is one of SHINee's most representative songs. A bold song that innovatively blended two songs together, SHINee came back strong in this comeback with one of the most expensive K-pop choreographies of all time. An incredibly difficult song to sing and dance live, Sherlock cannot go unnoticed for what it has done for not only the group, but as a powerful K-pop song for the genre. Alone is without a doubt Sistar's representative song. This was the song that solidified them as a top 15 artist nearly every year since, and one of the major drivers of the sexy concept trend among girl groups that lasted through 2015. It still stands as an example of a classic sexy concept song in K-pop even now.
봄바람이 날리며 흩날리는 벚꽃잎이 울려 퍼질 이 거리를 둘이 걸어요.
In terms of longevity, Cherry Blossom Ending has managed to rise in the charts every spring in Korea since its release. One of the biggest songs from 2012 and a breakout rookie, this song's impact on Korea is the perfect epitome of a seasonal hit.
오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일.
It goes without saying, I think everyone expects this song to be here and recognized for its monumental and cultural impact it has had across the world. If I had to make this a countdown video, I would have chosen this as the K-pop song of the decade. Gangnam Style broke countless records and became a phenomenon that will last for decades. It's in history books and even played at weddings in the decades to come. Psy and his song reached the masses in ways that no one could have ever imagined. Beloved by many in all ages, it was the song that led the Hallyu wave and made the term K-pop a household word. You can't ignore what this song has done for Korea, and it is one that will forever be remembered across the world for generations. 2012 was a jam-packed year, and obviously I couldn't squeeze every song in here. Other songs that I considered or honorable mentions are Sistar's Loving You, Boa's Only One, TVXQ's Catch Me, K-Will's Please Don't, Tiara's Lovey Dovey, 2NE1's I Love You, and G-Dragon's That XX. Coming off of a big 2012, let's move on to 2013.
Let me put it down another way.
Starting off 2013, on January 1, Girls' Generation's comeback was and is their boldest song to date. Featuring a blend of many different sounds and directions that the song takes, it was one that was, production-wise, truly innovative and a roller coaster for many. The song went on to win Video of the Year at the YouTube Awards that same year, giving more face to the genre. The song most strongly associated to EXO, Growl arguably solidified their status in the industry. While it was thought that digital sales were on the rise and physical sales were on the decline, the song's album monumentally became the million seller for the first time in 12 years in Korea, thus entering the charts as one of the best-selling Korean albums of all time at the time. Other songs from 2013 that I also considered are honorable mentions included Crayon Pop's Bar Bar Bar, Sunmi's 24 Hours, 4 Minutes What's Your Name, Girls' Day Expectation, and A-Pink's No No No. And moving on to 2014, we have Girls' Day Something. Another representative song of K-pop's sexy concept, Something is one of Girls' Day's biggest songs in their career. It has a timelessness to it, and one that even brought back a resurgence of male idols joyfully covering girl groups again. One of the first member-focused fan cams to ever go viral, it unconventionally put EXID on the map and boosted the group's popularity in song. Featuring heavy brass usage, the song's magic became a signature sound for the group and continued to try to be recaptured in the subsequent comebacks in the following years.
너에는 거입 날 만지던 네 손길 작은 손톱까지다.
Living in Korea at the time of this song's release, it was everywhere, to say the least. Practically covered by everyone, including nearly every YG artist it seems that same year, this has become Taeyang's biggest hit. It's timeless, a truly remarkable and versatile song that many adored. This was without question the Song of the Year in 2014. One of many collaborations Sistar Soyu did with indie artists, and this was one example of many collabs that helped indie artists gain more prominence in the Korean mainstream music scene. Sum was so popular that the word sum became a part of the Korean vocabulary, meaning the ambiguous relationship between two people when they're more than just friends, but not yet a couple. And rounding out the 2014 songs that I also considered an honorable mentions include Octon Musicians 200%, Park Hyo-shin Wildflower, AOA's Miniskirt, and Winter's Empty. By 2015, K-pop had already begun to gain tremendous steam across the world and was appearing to be unstoppable. Lots of big songs this year, but for the most part, I am torn feeling that there were any notable songs of the decade from this year. Only because I have chosen already more representative songs from other artists featured in this video, such as Big Bang's Bang 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 and their Ambitious Made album. BTS's I Need You was one I really thought about talking about, simply because this was the turning point for the group and helped set them on the path to be where they are today. I Need You really is a song that will stand the test of time and often considered one of their best. This was a year that indie artists also took the mainstream charts by storm, as artists like Zion T and Hyugos scored their biggest hits to date. Internationally, they did not have the level of attention as they did in Korea. Instead, many idols, especially male ones, started to gain huge popularity overseas despite not having any hits in Korea. But there is one song I will talk about, and that is G-Friend's Me Gustas Tu. Another unconventional viral song for sort of the wrong reasons, but it was a song that not only gave recognition to G-Friend, but also set the course for a resurgence of the trend of cute, innocent concepts in K-pop again for the following years. While I did not necessarily talk about a lot of songs from 2015, there are some that I did think about for songs of the decade, and those are as follows: 4 Minutes Crazy, Guyan's Paradise Lost, Twice's Like Ooh Ah, AOA's Heart Attack, GOT7's If You Do, which I really wanted to talk about. I mean, that song is pretty timeless and one of GOT7's best, and I'll leave that at that. Taeyeon's I, which is another one I thought was remarkable, pretty timeless as well. FX's Four Walls, which many agree is also a thumbs up. Shiny's View, and Wonder Girls' I Feel You, which I personally super loved. Amazing song, one of the best from 2015. Alright, now we're more than halfway, 2016. Labeled as the K-pop third-generation nation's girl group, Twice has managed to be a leader in the industry with their huge hits year after year. With so many to choose from, I personally feel TT perfectly encapsulates the group's major success in 2016 and proved their staying power in the genre. Coming off their most successful album to date, it did, however, come out towards the end of the year, thus giving Cheer Up their other massive hit that year, the crown of best performing single of 2016. TT, I'm really trying hard to keep a straight face for this one, furthered the cute and innocent concepts that were so popular at the time and ultimately became the face of it as well. Before the whole Mnet debacle, IOI was the first Produce 101 group and one that set the stage for idol survival shows that brought new life to many other groups in the years to follow as well. The JYP produced Very 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 was a massive hit for the unfortunately short-lived girl group, but one that many continue to look back at its catchiness and one that perfectly summed up the cute and innocent phase of K-pop songs that I mentioned before. A song that left an impression on YG himself. The story and message behind Breathe further resonated with K-pop fans over the years. One that will forever be looked back upon as such a powerful and emotional song that perfectly captures the feeling of empathy with someone you care for. A simple breath to signify and reassure you that everything will be okay. With what is going on in today's world, you always need to take a moment to yourself to breathe. A truly timeless and beautifully penned and orchestrated song that will forever be remembered as a new classic. I must admit that picking a song to represent BTS was a challenge. But after much consideration, I chose Blood, Sweat, Tears simply because it started the next boom for the group on a global scale. A daring song that beautifully blended together elements of Moonbaton to give a modern twist of the genre. Regarded as one of BTS's best, I truly look back at their catalog and definitely see this one as one of their songs of the decade that will stand the test of time. That and I Need You for sure. I can go on about all the achievements BTS was able to have after this song, but that would honestly take a full video to do. But yeah, one of the contributors and most powerful K-pop artists in this decade for sure. Looking forward to see what the next decade brings for them. And rounding out the 2016 songs that I also considered are honorable mentions include NCT U's 7 Cents, EXO's Monster, G-Friend's Rough, and Blackpink's Whistle. And only a few years left. Now let's move on to 2017. The solo comeback that was talked about by many. Sunmi successfully transitioned from the Big 3 label that is JYP to a subsidiary of YG to still achieve groundbreaking success. Gashina is arguably the most known dancehall K-pop song on K-pop and was a choreo that was copied by so many. It pushed the singer into new fame after leaving a major successful group that is the Wonder Girls, and she appears to be unstoppable to this day.
널 좋아해 내 맘을
As I mentioned earlier in this video, Korea does love their songs that fit certain seasons for it to continually reappear in charts year after year when it's that special time of the year. Winners really took the Trop House trend in K-pop to another level, with this now being their most successful song to date, and has proven to have staying power in the years to come each summer season. With Red Flavor, it is technically Red Velvet's highest charting song in their discography. While Bad Boy might be bigger on a more global scale, Red Flavor, similar to Really, does have that seasonal effect too, as it appeared again on the charts last summer, and I feel the song in the long run will continue to be a Red Velvet song people will come back to in the subsequent summers, proving it has more staying power over time. And for 2017, other songs that I considered and honorable mentions include VIX's Shangri-La, BTS's DNA and Spring Day, Blackpink's As If It's Your Last, 17's Don't Wanna Cry, and 101's Energetic. And now it is time for 2018.
우리가 만든 love scenario 이젠 조명이 꺼지고
The Song of the Year in 2018, this song's longevity is proven by its simple and easy to follow melody. A stark contrast to a lot of booming K-pop songs in previous years, Love Scenario took a more simplistic route to ensure that you don't need bells and whistles to make a lasting and impactful song.
널 사랑하는 찌질이 그래 나는 머저리 난 너한테는 거머리 겉절이 이 세상 너 하나면 돼.
One of many K-pop fans' favorite songs from 2018, Pentagon Shine, boasted a feel-good vibe that brought about smiles to many listeners and viewers. While it did not get the much-deserved win last year, it still managed to find its way into hearts of fans and brought about new fans for the group. Another relatively simple K-pop song that will surely stand the test of time. It's rare to find breakout songs these days in K-pop, it seems, from the smaller companies that take a group to a massive scale. But last year's Boom Boom from Momoland interestingly captured the eyes of many with another song that featured heavy brass with hip-hop beat breakdown elements. A roller coaster of a song that definitely left an impression on the 2018 year and K-pop as a whole. With Mamamoo, they are a group that gave a new kind of notoriety to K-pop idols and the industry in Korea's eyes. They were always pretty successful and known for their killer talent. With Starry Night being one of their most successful songs to date, its timelessness and simplicity that it carries will carry over into years to come, truly making it one of their signature songs and one offering a different side to the K-pop genre.
Hit you with that do-do-do-do-do.
When it came to Blackpink, it's no question that they've had a successful run and impression on K-pop in recent years. Each song breaks records and solidifies the power of YG's music. For them, I chose I don't even know how to fucking say that out loud, but as the representative song for Blackpink that managed to further strengthen their foothold in K-pop to go on to become the most viewed K-pop group video of all time and also most subscribed K-pop YouTube channel. They would be an unstoppable group if they came back more, but we'll save the shade for later. But I'm still trying to keep a straight face, and its catchiness catapulted the group and the genre to new levels in 2018. And for 2018, other songs that I considered in honorable mentions include Red Velvet's Bad Boy, Idol's La Tata, and props for me for not saying girdle, woo, and EXO's Tempo, BTS's Fake Love, NCTU's Baby Don't Stop, and Jennie's Solo. And now, here in 2019, I feel it is honestly too soon to tell whether or not the songs that came from this year are truly ones that will have a lasting impression in the years to come. Most are just a few months old, and we really haven't had enough time to truly digest them, so to speak. There are definitely new rookies that boomed this year, and many of the comebacks were standard comebacks that gave this year its colors. Maybe by next year, we'll know which ones really were the full standouts that catapulted certain groups to bring us into the fourth generation. I must say, as someone who was there in K-pop throughout all of the 2010s, it's been such a whirlwind of a decade, a monumental one at that. Never had I thought it reached the popularity it has grown into in recent years. It warms my heart to see it go from such a niche fandom of weird people like myself to be almost mainstream and cool and accepted by so many across the world. It defied the odds for sure, because when I left Korea in 2014, my industry friends all told me they foresaw it dying within the next 5 years. But hey, look at it now. It's stronger than ever before. I really do look forward to seeing what it will become in the 2020s, and hope you're all here with me every step of the way. Thank you, K-pop, for the last decade. Here's to the next one. Hey YouTube, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that video. I spent a long time making that one and writing it and all that fun stuff. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It has been such a roller coaster of our last decade with life and YouTube and all that fun stuff. I felt like it was such a special occasion that I had to film myself today. And thank you all so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. While you're here, check out many more of my works and hope to see you next decade.